Hello there, Jacob here again. This is my third review in a row because I'm just trying to really get more out there for you guys because I've been enjoying some really great stuff and I really want to make sure that you guys can make bearing in mind, I'm not saying I know any more than anybody else. I want to make sure that you guys have the ability to make a well-informed decision though on some of these things coming out because I know out there's a lot of great, there's a lot of bad, and also, it depends on your particular taste. Understand my particular taste is probably much different than yours, but I want to share some of the things I truly love, and that's all I care to share, are things I truly love. Now, that being said, with this one, what I'm about to review, which is Luke Germain's Cartomancy, it's 75 pounds, which, if I'm calculating correctly, is about 115 US maybe. My math might be a little bit off there. I got a special deal for about 75 US, which is 50 pounds. Bearing that in mind, when I first opened this up, I immediately listened to the audio file first because I was on the I bought it and I immediately had to take a long trip, so I listened to the audio file. So I got no real information out of it, other than him talking about what his thoughts on it and everything. But I did kind of get a general understanding of the routine. Audio files put together extremely well. There's one gripe, but in mine at least, there was a long segment of silence at one part of it, which I didn't understand why that's there. But it still covered everything. I don't care, personally. If you're really that aesthetically worried about it, that might be a problem for you. For me, personally, no. In Cartomancy, let me give you the idea what this is. This is a complete act that you can actually take, put in front of a parlor situation, a psychic party situation. God forbid I wouldn't put it in a close-up situation, but if you want to, go ahead. You can do this in a close-up show, a stage show. You can turn it into a segment of an act. It's completely modular as well, but it's all there to basically surround one singular concept and just present on that concept, and that is cartomancy, or divination, traditional divination of playing cards, which has a fascinating history. And I think you should look into that history should you want to pursue something like this. I know I have, and I was really shocked to see the history of playing cards, and I always thought it was a magician's myth that playing cards predated tarot cards, but I found that's actually absolutely true. They did. Even though playing cards technically were divination cards first, from what I understand. So fascinating things inside of the book as well, kind of surrounding that. There's a lot of interesting history you can use to hook your audience in. Now, I'm going to say this. When I read the PDF is laid out great. And a lot of people have commented it has the visual images on there from a traditional book called Divination of Playing Cards, which I think is a really cool thing. So it kind of shows Luke's real love is not this new kind of mentalism scene that's developing, it's the classic stuff. And the idea of talking with the dead. And if you know Luke's stuff, you'll understand what that is. If you don't know Luke's stuff, go buy it. It's all great. You can't go wrong with anything Luke's really put out. Everything I've seen and bought from him has been fantastic, especially this new string of stuff. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. So that being said, when I first opened the PDF and read through it, the act sounds amazing. It's theatrically interesting. It's amazing. It's got everybody in the audience involved in it. It's got moments of psychic revelation. It's got spectators having amazing intuitive abilities. It's got everything. It's got amazing gallery readings done from stage. And I'm thinking and reading this, and when I read it, I thought, this is great, but this is what I think it is. I'm going to be a little disappointed. And I read it, and it was to an extent what I thought it was. Now, saying that, at first I was disappointed. And I stewed on it for about a day or so. And I went back and read it again. And then I read it again. And that's an audio file again. And what I've finally come to the conclusion on is this is something I intend to use. I am putting together everything necessary for this act. And I'm actually planning on taking this out and using this alongside of a book I want to review here soon by my friend Robert Marcy. And he's called Get Gigs Now. Robert Marcy's book, great. I'll put a review of that up. Probably going to film that next. But the idea of it is basically I'm going to take this act out and use it to sell my act to a larger audience. And it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful act. It is propped, and there is some props in there, but it's props you have probably in your drawer that you've overlooked. I want to say real quick that two people, I think, at least from what I see daily, have the ability to turn traditional magic props into amazing mysteries that can fool other magicians sometimes. Luke Germain is definitely one of them. The other one is my good friend Dan Harlan. I love everything Dan does with traditional magic props. If you haven't seen his Bounce No Bounce routine, check it out. Once again, being sidetracked, and excuse me for that. I'm not going to re-record this. Just excuse me. Cartomancy basically gives you a show where you can pitch back-of-room sales items, or you can do as a standard act. You can turn it into a 15-minute showpiece where you do a chunk of the act, or you can turn it into an hour-long show depending on how far you want to take it. The best thing is the middle section of it, the gallery readings, are endable at any time. You, depending on your audience and how you're doing and everything, you're good. You have a safety net built into the gallery readings as well. Within the gallery readings, you basically can do no wrong. The only wrong you can do is not having the confidence and boldness enough to connect with other people. And that's what this book is really about, in my opinion. That's what Luke's passionate about, is connecting with other people. And I respect that so deeply. I think that's one of the most beautiful things that you can do with an audience, is connect, versus trying and put yourself here and normal people here. Unless that's your style. Some people connect with an audience by doing that. And if that's your style, once again, I can't pull it off with my personality. But this is an act I can easily see integrating into my personality, or integrating in anyone's personality. And as mentioned in the book, you can change the actual structure of the act and make it fit palmistry, whatever. I personally don't see how you could do it the same way, but you could if you wanted to. I think that this is a really brilliant act. I think it has a lot of potential. It doesn't have a lot of potential. It has a lot of kinetic, I should say. It has a lot of potential in my hands or in somebody else's hands. It has a lot of kinetic in its idea and in Luke's hands and everything in general. I went from being disappointed to being highly, highly appreciative of what I had. I'm going to say the only gripe I really have, and it's just a minor gripe, and I think it's something, it's just laziness on my part as a person, is I wish there was a pitch book included for the price. A pitch book that I could, print, put my name on, have legal rights to sell it, and have it as a sellable act. Sort of like what Doc does with Perfect Mental Club Act, which if you have Perfect Mental Club Act, this will go really nicely with that. I don't have Perfect Mental Club Act. I intend to soon enough. It's just so many things going on, and it's a lot of money. But I was highly impressed by this. You may or may not be, depending on what your style is. But for a book to convert a guy that wants to bring as few props as possible into a situation and do almost a complete propless kind of anything, to converting me to somebody that has a rather prop-heavy act, then taking this and actually putting this out there to generate leads and gigs for my shows, I'd say that's a pretty incredible product. And that's really what this has done. So I think that if you're somebody that literally wants a full professional show that you can instantly read, integrate in, and take props out and just do it, make money, make your investment back, and do a wide variety of things, and even just pique the interest of people and just generate that pure mystery like we all probably should be going for, and to connect with people. This is probably for you. Understand the price tag is a little heavy, and because of that you might be deterred from looking into this, but I highly recommend you contact Luke. I'm sure he'll answer any questions you have. He's a very, very kind character. I even haven't personally talked to him, just from what I've seen. You can feel the sincerity kind of emanate from him when he speaks, on his audio files, when he's on his DVD, everything. So as we reach that magical 10-minute mark, I want to say it's another thing I highly recommend, and to look past what you might be disappointed in. And to see something great is something really amazing. Thank you.